1079 CDY. This is Cadillac's hit music station. Pausing the music for about 30 minutes for a little local chat here on Cadillac Unscripted for this Saturday morning. Rich Spicer with Katy Huckle, and 2 weeks ago, this is kind of an interesting thing. 2 weeks ago, we chatted with Amy Gibbs.
We did.
Who is the executive director of the Wexford Osceola Habitat for Humanity.
That's correct.
She segued from an accounting career into a nonprofit career.
She did, and guess what's in the studio today?
We're doing the same thing here today.
Same thing.
Who do we have, Katy?
Okay, so with us we have Mark Mogen and Chris Crawley, and these guys are on a mission for the New Hope Shelter.
Yes.
They're getting lots of media hype in the community because they're doing important work. And I think when we talk about these guys in the community, people see them wearing different hats. And so my first question for you gentlemen, good morning, is what was the calling? What was the calling? How did you end up here?
Well, I think what we do there and what drawed me to New Hope Shelter was just being available and giving to those people in need. You know, we help that community that's sometimes at rock bottom. You know, they're looking for that housing, they're looking for a chance to start again, and that's really what pulled me into it.
New Hope, what a fitting name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a great name, and it's been, we've been in town for 29 years.
Oh my!
So we started out as a men's shelter, and in that area we just pretty much hot bunked the same bed for 365 nights a year. We had 14 churches that each took a week, and then a different guy would come there. We'd get there at 7 at night. We didn't really know exactly what we were doing. We just kind of let people in, had them sign in, tried to encourage them to take a shower, and then put them to bed. And then at 7 in the morning, we had to get to work, so we had to let them out. So we were just open from 7 to 7 back in the old days.
Wow!
Yeah.
And is that faith-based, Mark? Is
Yes.
that where this comes
Yeah.
from? Okay.
Yeah, it was started by CAMA and the hospital at the time.
Okay, so folks,
Mercy.
CAMA is the Cadillac Area Ministerial Association, powerhouse group of pastors and ministers in the area that work to get things done. You identified a need, and you made it happen.
Yep. As I understand, I wasn't there at the time, but the CAMA group was discussing this at a meeting 9 years ago, and said that, we put up a family for a week, cost us $50 a night, and we don't know where they went after that. And another pastor said, hey, we did the same thing. And they said, maybe we need to do something a little better and a little more organized.
Yes, let's invent the wheel and address a community need.
So how long have you been with the group, Mark?
Well, I was one of those early volunteers, and you will find literally hundreds of guys that did that through the first 10, 15 years.
Wow.
So I've been there for the 29 years.
So what is your official title with the organization?
Right now, I'm just a board member. I'm secretary of the board.
Not just, I tell you, he's working hard.
Yeah.
Let's talk to Chris for a minute. Chris, can you tell us about your title with the organization? And then also, I think we're interested in you left banking. I mean, you left a long, prestigious career in banking to do this. So can you tell us about both of those things?
Sure I can, and thanks for having us here. I started out with New Hope Shelter back in 2012 as a board member.
Okay.
And I got involved with that by being in the Cadillac leadership class. And we took a tour of the shelter one day after our class over at the men's shelter, and I really enjoyed what the program was doing. Always enjoyed helping people.
Right.
And so as I went through the class and we finished up at the end of the year, I talked with Brenda Wright, the executive director at the time, and kind of came to a board meeting. And at the end of the meeting, I was asked to join the board.
No kidding.
And so I was on the board for 6 years. And as you mentioned, I was in banking for the last 10 years and financing lending for 20 years. And I had an opportunity. I was stepped away for about 2 years. And this past fall, I was asked if I would be interested in talking with just seeing what kind of direction. And in February, I had decided to come on board, and now I'm the executive director here at New Hope. Very excited. It's kind of my passion, trying to help other people, and being the connection I've had in the community, being able to direct people to the different agencies or just different things to help them get back on track with their life.
Oh, wow.
How about the differences between your previous career and your current career? What are the differences, and what did you learn from your previous career that helps you now?
Mm-hmm. He knows how to balance a checkbook, I can tell you that.
That definitely can do that. Well, that's a lot of what I've learned from my prior experience is just networking. Mm-hmm. Because in the banking world, that's what you do a lot of is
Sure
networking,
do.
being out involved with the community, and that's very important. Same thing what you have to do with this position here. You need to have your face and be out in the community and talking about your organization all the time and letting your donors know to thank them and to be able to drum up more donors, especially at this time when we're building a new center. We still have quite a bit of money to raise to finish our project.
I think, Chris, when I think, you and I've worked together over the years. You bring instant trust and integrity to the agency because of your career in banking. You do what you say you're going to do, and you deliver. And I think now in fundraising mode, that reputation is really going to bode well for the agency because people are like, I know Chris Crawley. I trust that guy. I'll give him some money. I think he's going to be a good steward of my money and my donation. I think that was a really smart move on the part of the board of directors.
Well, thank you, Katy. And I think that has worked out. We've seen some of that during the COVID-19 when we had to go to 24/7 and we were needing a couple items, and I just posted something out there on Facebook, and within an hour I had the 3 items that I had more than what I needed. And that was just due to the networking over the years.
Let's talk about finances, guys. You said we're mid-build. We do have more money to raise. What are we talking about? How far along is the project, and how much money do you need? Because we've got listeners out there that might write checks.
Well, we've been on this journey for going on 6 years now.
Okay.
And over that time frame, we have raised about $900,000.
Oh my goodness
but
gracious!
we have a building that's 10,000 square foot roughly, so that's $1.2 million at the minimum. And what we're hoping to do is to have $200,000 worth of volunteer labor.
Okay.
So we are reaching out to many churches and organizations to see if they'll come alongside us. We're going to schedule 9 Saturdays here in the future out, starting in September and through the winter for doing things like putting up siding, installing insulation, painting, hanging cabinets, all that kind of stuff like that. So that's $200,000. About 2 years ago, we had the gift of a school building that went under. It was a charter school in Hart, Michigan.
Oh my.
And we got that for $1. So from that school building, we have trusses, which hopefully saves us $40,000. We have 24 really nice school doors, if you can imagine those big, heavy metal doors.
Nice.
And then we've got about the same number, maybe 25, 26 windows. And then we got a whole bunch of sheathing, 4x8 sheets of sheathing for roof and siding and all this stuff. So we have that in 6 semi-trailers right now, and we've been pulling that stuff out. We have metal studs in there too. But that hopefully saves us $100,000, and then we only have $200,000 that we're short.
Oh my goodness. So I think donors like to know that. I think donors like to look at a situation and say, how have they exhausted all of their resources? How hard is this organization working? And I can tell you, stories like that are powerful. We're using the tools that we've been given to get where we've got to go. And it reminds me, Mark, of sometimes you'll see grants that state grants or federal grants that state for nonprofits, if you can raise X in your community, we'll match X, meaning is your community supporting the mission of the agency? And clearly that has happened here. Who's running the construction project?
Ken Orschel is the general contractor, and he has given his time freely to us. It's been a real gift.
Ken Orschel is a saint. What a good guy. Wonderful man. Yeah. So how do we give you money? How do we reach you? How do we contact you?
Well, there's several ways that we can be contacted. We can contact the office itself at 231-468-2022.
Okay.
You can send a direct email to myself at director@newhopecadillac.org. You can reach out to us on our website too at newhopecadillac.org. There's a place where you can send us a message.
Okay.
It'll go directly to us. And we do have a Facebook page that has recently been put up that you can send us a private message on there and be looking for times to be sent up for event days that will have sign-up sheets for people.
Do you have folks in shelter right now?
We do. We're actually full at the women's shelter.
So what is capacity, Chris?
So capacity at the women's shelter is 14.
Oh, my.
So we have 14 women and children over there right now.
Okay.
And we are at 5 at the men's shelter, and that is 7 is capacity there.
Oh my goodness. So there's a real need, isn't there?
There is. And then we have the 3 family shelters, which we have one available right now.
Okay. I think a lot of folks don't realize that, Rich, that they have households that they put a house that they put families in. I mean, that's just so important.
Well, and one of the things that I was going to bring up is, isn't there a thought that there might actually eventually be a cost savings achieved from being able to have everything in one place as opposed to several different areas that are happening right now?
It is. By having everything under one roof, we're only supervising in one place.
Right.
And so instead of trying to have supervisors at each, of course, the women and the men's, the family are on their own. But then also the time it takes to drive supplies back and forth, case managers going over to each place to check in with them. So that'll cut down on cost. The overall goal is to hope to go 24/7 too. And so it'll be potentially with the number of staff, same or potential increase. But overall, you're only having one building for utilities.
Right.
And it's a new, efficient
Yes.
building instead of having the 5 older homes that we have, which do cost us a lot of money with our heating, electric, things
Multiple
like that.
sites, more work.
Correct.
So, can you tell our listeners when people come to you? I mean, this is more than heads on beds. This is helping people, as Mark mentioned, broken folks that are having a hard time. Can you tell us what you do for these people?
Well, what we do is we give them a safe place to stay.
Yep.
That's the number one point at first. They're able to come in. They have, in the wintertime, it's a nice warm place that they can come in, get a hot meal, get a hot shower. They're able to do their laundry
Yes.
and everything. So
Chris, things we take for granted, don't
right. Yeah. And so as we come along, a lot of our staff build relationships with the people that are our clients that are there. And so all of us have to be involved with what's out there for our clients. So what other places can help them maybe build resumes, maybe help them find jobs. We do that too. We have a couple computers that we try to work with now, but at our new center with a conference room, our goal is that we'll be able to have classes for them, bring people in from the community to talk to them about life skills.
Oh, wonderful.
How to do that resume building a little more than just in our little office that we have, or as we've always said before, at the kitchen table.
Right.
Because we don't have any room to do anything else.
Yeah.
And this is where all your relationships in the community come in handy.
Right.
Yeah.
Does Cadillac have a homeless problem?
It does have a homeless problem. We are typically full at the shelter, especially in the winter months.
Isn't that something?
And so you'll usually have people on the waiting list.
Oh, my goodness.
And so it is a problem. It's in Michigan in general.
I see.
And probably across the U.S., but it's affordable housing. That's what we need to find here in Cadillac and in northern Michigan.
How long can someone stay?
The question is always asked. There's not really a set time on how long they can stay. A lot of it depends on if they're doing their part too, going out looking for work, going out looking for housing, making sure they're hitting the streets with apartments, with job applications, doing their part or maybe they need a little assistance on helping to get their Social Security benefits or VA benefits, something like that we can steer them in the right direction to do that or help them ourselves. So each client has the opportunity to stay at the shelter up to 90 days as long as they're doing their part. We get funding from the Salvation Army, and we get reimbursed for each bed night. And through that is only 90 days is up to that. So after that, if we're keeping them there, then it starts costing out of our funds, which that happens a lot of time in the wintertime because we're not going to put someone out on the cold streets. So we'll keep them in until.
Chris, this incentivizes you and your board to get working with these people.
Right.
Because it can be a financial burden otherwise.
Correct.
Okay, let's talk about the faith piece. Mark told us that CAMA identified the need and CAMA put it together. Mark, can you tell us how does the church or local churches interact with these folks?
Well, we're hoping for so much more out of this new facility. You know, right now, that biggest meeting room is that biggest dining room we have in the largest house we have. With this area, we're going to have a conference room, so we'll have opportunities to provide all kinds of training, be it faith-based training, be it financial training, these kind of things where they can plug into. And, you add to that, right now we provide professional counseling, warm bed, safe place to stay, food, counseling, and faith.
Wow.
And we do that for $18 a night.
Wow.
Whereas if you put them in a hotel, $55 a night, in an inexpensive hotel.
And that's just the bed. That's not the food.
Yeah,
that's not.
Right.
Oh, my.
So the big piece is that we have an opportunity in our community, and I think a lot of people don't realize how many people that we do serve. We have about 33,000 people in Wexford, Missaukee, and that's who we take care of, these two counties. And we've had, over those 29 years, over 5,000 people stay.
No
So it's not
kidding.
hard to do that math.
It's a huge
to see
percentage
how many
mark.
of them are. Yes, there, and many people, most people that come to our shelter, it's over 70%, stay one time. They use the shelter one time in their life. They're just at that crisis place one time. We do have that group of 20-some% that come back on a regular basis, but we belong to a statewide agency, which is the Homeless Management Information System. So we plug them in there, and we know if they've been to our place before for sure, and if they've been someplace else, Traverse City or someplace else, and those other shelters will know too. Not only will they know if they've been there, but they also know what kind of counseling they've had, what kind of care they've had, who they've met with, because we team with all kinds of public and private agencies.
That's
of them,
wonderful.
all of them tagged together.
Yes.
Yeah, and as opposed to having the 5 different houses where, an agency comes in with their social worker, case manager, and says, "Can I see so-and-so?" Well, they're over there. Mm-hmm. And, they have a phone probably, but they pay by the minute, so it's not always turned on. So to have them come right to our spot, have separate little conference rooms right there so they can meet is just going to be a benefit to expedite. Like you were saying earlier, it's better to get these people back engaged and into society again, and it really helps out with that. I think it will.
If someone walked up to you on the street and said, "Mark, you're involved with New Hope Shelter, you've been a leader with the organization for years, what does the shelter need from the community?" If you could pick one thing.
Well, I think we need that personal and financial support. Right now we have about 500 dedicated givers that give to us. And I think also that connection, once where your money goes and your heart goes is also where you go. And I think to reach out and make this more of a community event and a community effort, because small towns our size don't have facilities like this. They're sent them off to Traverse City or Grand Rapids. So it's a pretty unique opportunity we have here to help those people in need.
Well, and I can tell you the community is grateful to not have more homelessness. I mean, this is filling a critical need, and I think that a thank you needs to be said to your organization for keeping people safe.
Yeah.
Chris, what would you say your biggest need is?
It's a good question, because Mark answered it pretty good with what we're, in the times that we're needing right now. The other would be the people coming alongside on the volunteer side with the programs that we want to start with, helping to rebuild their lives. And so sometimes it's going to having those programs and having those volunteers coming in to and possibly be a mentor to these people that are, because a lot of times when they're exiting out, they've got a place to stay now and they got that job, but who's going to teach them to be responsible with that new job they have, with that new income, with the new responsibility of paying a rent,
right,
paying utility bills again, and things like that. So I would like to see a program that we have that where someone could step alongside with, this person and then help them out for that next 6 months to a year. Not financially, nothing like that, just a matter of someone that they can ask questions to. How do I do this, or how do I do that?
A lifeline.
Yep.
Wow, that would be powerful, wouldn't it, Rich?
Absolutely.
Almost like a big brother or a big sister.
Correct.
And there's no question that you can't ask, or, I need help with this. And I'm just amazed at how all of these nonprofits work together to be a resource to each other. Mm-hmm. This group does this. You mentioned specifically the Salvation Army. I know sometimes Love in the Name of Christ will buy someone a bus ticket to get them home. And I'm always astounded at the cooperation and team approach. For the better of Cadillac, for the greater good.
Yeah, and there's been the local executive directors at the nonprofit. We've been working great with one another, especially over this COVID-19. We've been on a bi-weekly Zoom meeting and be able to talk to one another and bounce ideas off each other on, hey, how are you getting through this? And as we've started talking, most of us are on this position with less than a year experience at this position.
You've got some rookies. You do, because you've got Kelso at the Y, you've got Amy at Habitat, and we've got you. How do you fundraise? How does New Hope Shelter raise money?
Well, typically we do a fundraiser in the springtime.
Okay.
But with COVID this year, we had to postpone it. We postponed it to the fall. But with some uncertainties, we've decided to go ahead and cancel that now. So our new fundraising for this year is going to be just having those personal relationships that we've had been, talking to our donors in the past.
Yes.
Coming out to try to do some media to reach out to others that maybe haven't heard about us or haven't donated to us in the past, to let them know that, this is a good organization, your money's going to a good cause, and we're accounting for all the money that we receive in to be put back into the agency. And that is helping people in our community.
Amazing. When Mark just listed all of the things that happen for an individual for $18 a night, I mean, I think a lot of us spend more than that on coffee weekly.
Right.
This is somebody's life we're talking about. If money were no object, where could you take the organization?
Well, we would like to see eventually at the new center, I would like to have a playground in the back area.
Nice.
For the family and the
kids.
kids to have out there. It'd be nice to have a basketball court too, for them to be out there, get some exercise, even for the adults too, for something for them to do. We would need some storage.
Okay.
And with the new facility, we're limited on the storage that we have. So it'd be nice to have some type of pole building out there that we can keep things in. We have a large yard to take care of, so we're going to need to be mowing and snow plowing, things
Well,
like
maybe
that.
someone can donate a nice rider. How about that, Chris?
That would be awesome.
Okay. I think you need to make up a wish list, because there's people in the community that would step up. I just know so.
I'm
I
sure
think that
they
needs
will.
to get posted somewhere.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mark.
I'm a little more the realist, and so I've got to bring our board and our staff kind of back down to earth. I think we would like to have restroom facilities with sinks and toilets and everything in this new building, kitchen cabinets, beds for everyone, maybe a couch or two, and then maybe even a parking lot or a finished office space. Or there's still that $200,000 that we still need to finish things off.
Yep.
We haven't talked yet even about where this is located. So we need to,
Right.
for
Where
the
are you
community
guys?
who doesn't know where this new construction will be, where is it?
Sure. Come on by and pray on us for us. So we're right next to the new Wexford County Jail. We're on Lincoln Street. It's 1125 Lincoln, so it's just east of the jail. And we're under construction right now. So we've got a hole in the ground and foundation footings, and they're putting the underground plumbing in right now. So things are coming along.
Oh, my goodness. So you're saying pray for us, write us a check, and come and help us build some things too. All three.
Yeah, it would be great. I mean, we want to make this a community event, and I think it's a perfect opportunity in this time in our life and in this world right now to come together as a community and do a great thing.
Chris Crawley and Mark Mogen, you're doing such important work in the community. Thanks you for your commitment to this. It's powerful.
One more time, contact information, how people can help you out financially or physically.
All right, we can contact the office at 231-468-2022. You can reach out to my email, director@newhopecadillac.org. We have our website, too, at newhopecadillac.org that has an option to you can contact us through there. There's actually a donate button on there, too. So if you'd like to donate through there, you can do it with your credit card, debit card, and it's all secured. And then the other option is Facebook. You can reach out to us on there and send us a private message from there when we reach out to you. So there's plenty of ways to get involved. We're looking for people to team up to do, maybe if you're an employer and you want to do a work day with your staff, or if it's one of our volunteer days and you want to be able to cook for the volunteers, maybe come out and grill out some hot dogs, burgers, something like that, or maybe you have your own specialty that you like to do, maybe cookies or cakes or pies.
Oh,
you would
boy.
be able to provide. So we're looking for anyone that's able to help. We'll be glad to put you to work.
Oh, thank you so much for being with us this morning. And before we break,
Yes.
someone is turning 50
good
today.
God. No.
And so we have to sing the song, Rich. Hooray, 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 hooray. Today's your birthday. It's not the Beavers or the Bears. It's not the pickles or the pears. It's not next week or yesterday. Today is your birthday. Happy birthday, my friend. The big 5-0.
Thank you, Katy. I appreciate that, and I'm glad it happened here in amongst the four of us, and not in some restaurant somewhere.
With the sombrero.
Oh, my mother-in-law would love to do that to me, and I would just wring her neck. So anyway,
And he picked the chocolate-covered cherry cake. It's decadent, and he gets that delivered, too. It's a big day, my friend. Happy birthday.
Thank you, and thank you to Chris and Mark from New Hope Shelter for coming in today. We appreciate it.
And thank you guys, too.
More to come on Cadillac Unscripted on 107.9 CDY. Buying a home is still the great American dream. And yes, it can be an intimidating process, but you can rest assured and have confidence when the professionals from RE/MAX Central are in your corner to guide you through it. Mary Ann Quist of RE/MAX Central has helped hundreds of home buyers in and around the Cadillac area navigate the process over the years, and she's ready to help you too. From start to finish, from finding a home to submitting an offer, to understanding the purchase agreement, to inspections, surveys, and appraisals, to the time when you finally sit down and sign those closing documents, Mary Ann will be there. When you're ready to buy, talk to Mary Ann Quist at RE/MAX Central. See her listings at teamquist.com. Cadillac Unscripted is sponsored by our friends at Independent Bank, as well as Mary Ann Quist of RE/MAX Central. And this is a two-parter today. We just visited with our friends Chris Crawley and Mark Mogen from the New Hope Shelter, and now we're talking about an event going on today, later on today at the Rotary Performing Arts Pavilion. It is on, it is happening, it is social distance friendly, and it's going to be a wonderful day of fundraising for the After 26 Depot. We have Kelly Hondorp, a general manager of the depot, with us right now to talk about today's big event.
Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning.
Tell us what's going on today. I'm so excited. We're all stir crazy. We've all been boxed up in our houses.
We have.
We are excited. We can officially announce it's gonna happen.
All right.
We're a little hesitant, a little unsure. We've jumped through all the hoops that we needed to, and we're so happy to be able to pull off an event that is, it's always an important event, but this year, obviously with COVID hitting, and our sales have unfortunately taken a big hit this year. So
Yes.
any extra money we can get in is it's going to help us that much more. So
And you really didn't even know until about maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 days ago that this was going to happen.
absolutely. It really was a last minute thing. We didn't go out and purchase many music festival items this year, no t-shirts or any memorabilia, so to speak. We have everything is hot off the presses. In fact, today just got proofs. We had to hold off and just wait and pray that it was going to happen.
Can you tell us what's on deck for folks that have never been to your festival? What can they expect?
Well, first of all, we are going to make several announcements throughout the day. So we'll just get that out there right now. If you're feeling ill or have any COVID-like symptoms, we're going to ask, please don't attend. We're going to require that participants wear masks, or anyone who comes to the gathering, please wear a mask. And we're going to ask that everyone safe distance from each other, families especially. And from then, we're going to just have a great time. We have 7 performances, and
Wow.
they start 3:00. I take the stage, I do the introduction, and at 3:10 we go right into it.
Who's first?
First, we have the Landing Dance Academy.
Oh,
so
awesome.
lots of wonderful dancers, and we're so excited to have them back.
And before you get to the rest of the lineup, I've got to tell you, not only have all of us been cooped up all summer, but the performers have too. None of these bands have performed in public since at least the middle of March.
So they've got an itch
So
too.
they've got an itch to perform. They're going to put on a heck of a show.
Oh, good
Yeah,
point.
it's going to be, you're right, absolutely. And something that I think a lot of us don't really think about. So, and the best thing about all of this is, even though they haven't performed for months, they are donating their time this year. Every single one of the
wow.
performers, including the headliner,
How generous
they
is
are
that?
donating all of their time. So
Yay.
very, very happy to have that. And Yeah, we're excited. So Landing Dance Academy, they're going to kick us off. Then we're going to go with Craig Walworth. So he is new to the Depot lineup. He's a solo performer, so excited to have him here for the first time. Once Upon a Bison, they performed last year and they are returning this year, so happy to have them back. A newcomer this year, Feeding Grizzlies. So again, excited to have a new performer on
We
our
got all
lineup.
kinds of wildlife. With
Yeah,
these
I know.
bison and these
I know.
grizzlies.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And then familiar faces to Cadillac, we have Zach and Denny. They're from the 1000 Watt Prophets, who have been our headliner for the last 2 years, but this year they're coming in as a duo. Adam Joint, he's a friend to all of us at the Depot and to many people in Cadillac.
Talented guy.
He
yes.
is phenomenal, and he's bringing his band, so it's going to be a little different this year. And then we'll go for a short break. We'll do, we're going to have food available, so it's going to be a great time to get food and come back before the headliner, which is the American Hotel System. They performed last year and were willing to come back and do a 90-minute segment for us. So
amazing.
So excited.
And none of these guys are charging.
Exactly.
How wonderful.
Exactly.
So what's on the menu?
So on the menu, we have, it's a limited menu, of course, but we're going to have the grill out on the patio. We're going to be doing burgers and hot dogs. And then, of course, we're going to offer a vegetarian wrap. And then we have lots of just simple things. So chips, bottles of water, soda. We're going to have some cookies available to satisfy a sweet tooth. No beer tent this year.
Okay.
And no popcorn sales. So, obviously we were trying to get away from anything that was going to confine people into a small space. Right. So we opted to not do that this year, but we have lots of merchandise, lots of raffle items, silent auction items. Yes. We're going to have some vendors set up over in the park area, so lots of space to spread out too.
And in this summer when nothing has been normal, this is something we can look forward to that has happened in the past, and we can enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's comforting, Kelly.
Yeah.
That's the word. I mean, we all want to feel normal.
So the monies that are raised, what do you do with this money specifically that comes from this event?
Well, this year we have found how important it is to have the money in the bank. When we were closed for 2 months, those bills didn't stop. Right. And so we were fortunate enough that we had such a phenomenal year last year that we were able to pay the bills and reopen. So
Kelly, this also, though, is a tribute to the solvency of your board and of your leadership to have not. A lot of people see extra money in the bank account and go and buy something, and good for you guys for being good stewards of these donations.
Absolutely.
Well, and also to the customers that come and support After 26, because I know there were years in the past that you might not have been able to weather 2 months closed.
And, especially in times like this, we really found out that we have a phenomenal support system. And as a still newcomer to Cadillac and someone who was slightly reluctant to move here, I will tell you that I have embraced this community. The community embraces the After 26 project, and it has this is home, and the Depot to me is home, and it's home to so many of the project workers. And to not have that would just be a shame. And, we just want to thank everyone for everything that they do for those project workers, because really that's what it's all about.
It is. Can you tell our listeners, Kelly, the concept behind After 26 for people who don't know?
Yeah. So the After 26 Depot is a nonprofit 501c3 restaurant. We employ adults with special needs, so adults with developmental disabilities and cognitive impairments. The reason that the number 26 is so important is because in the state of Michigan, at the age of 26, adults with special needs graduate or age out of the public school system, and they don't have a lot of opportunities, unfortunately, after they leave school. So a group of board members, retired ISD teachers, and parents with children with special needs, they got together, they formed this After 26 project, and about 6 years later opened the cafe. And so we provide meaningful employment for adults with special needs. They bus tables, they wash dishes, and they bring a lot of joy to everyone's heart when they walk through that door.
Oh boy, do they ever. If you're having a bad day, go have
Yeah.
lunch at After 26.
Yeah, I tell you, it has changed my view altogether. As a boss, you know, it's like they are the best employees because all they do is they walk in happy, they show up on time, and they want to do their job and they want to do it well.
Oh man, that's awesome.
You had a background in restaurant management when you took this job, right?
I had a restaurant background, but I had never worked with anyone with special needs before.
And now it's so close to your heart. You
Oh.
wouldn't do it any other way, would
Yeah,
you?
they are the reason I stay.
Oh,
They-
you should see the smile on her face, folks. It's ear to ear smiling.
Yeah, they're,
Well, and
they're
if you
great.
if you follow After 26, you will see how much the project workers are the face of the restaurant.
It really has become a focus of mine to put it back to them,
Absolutely.
to remind everyone that, yes, you're going to come in, you might have a great meal. Well, you're going to have a great meal, but more than anything, you're going to have a full heart. So,
Oh,
yeah,
wow. That gave me the chills.
I know.
That did it. So Kelly, what did your workers do when they were off for 60 days? They probably missed you and missed each other and missed the customers.
Yeah, they. I had one of my project workers. He called literally every other day, and he would ask, "When are we going back to work?" And you know, a lot of us were like, "Oh, yay, vacation, whatever." Not them. You know,
something?
they just they crave that schedule, and they really just want to have that purpose.
That's the word.
It
You
is.
give them purpose.
Yeah, they come in, and it's remarkable how they want to just do their job.
Kelly, are we one of a kind with After 26 in town?
We are actually, so we're the second nonprofit restaurant that has been opened. We modeled after the Junction of Hope in Chesaning, Michigan. So they were the
Okay.
first nonprofit restaurant. We were the second.
And others have come to you and are looking to use your template, right?
We oftentimes get inquiries on how do we do this? How do we start anything similar to this? There's so many communities that they don't have opportunities for special needs adults. And so we have become kind of like that poster child for starting something like this. And that's ultimately our goal, is to help others to be able to do something similar to this.
That makes me so proud because I love it when Cadillac leads.
Exactly.
And you're leading, Kelly.
Yeah, it really is. It's such a remarkable place. I can never say enough good about the board of directors, about the people that started this project, and it's awesome.
You know, you've got your wings and you're flying high, but I like to ask nonprofit directors this question. If money were no object, Kelly could take the organization where?
Oh, grief. I've never thought, honestly, I just wish that there were more After 26 projects in other cities.
Okay.
And, to be able to go into any other town and be able to open something similar to this, I would take it everywhere. I guess that's my answer.
Okay.
I would take it everywhere, or everywhere that we could, because there's just such a need for it.
There really is. And when you look at families that have never been around someone with a disability, it's important for our kids to understand how to interact with folks and how to be patient and kind and understand diversity.
Right.
And also count their blessings.
That's right.
You see a project worker and they are so happy doing what they do.
Right.
That's right.
And it's a simple job, but it gives them a purpose to come
Right.
to work all the
Right.
time.
Exactly.
And we should be more grateful when we go to work every day too, shouldn't we? We should be smiling more. It's a good reminder.
Depends on who your boss is.
Oh, that's funny. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so you can support After 26 by coming this afternoon. Time, location, Kelly, one more time.
We begin at 3 p.m.
Okay?
The headliner takes the stage at 7:30. That's when the food will be over. So grab your food, grab your lawn chair, 7:30, and then they play until 9 p.m. It is at the Cadillac Rotary Performing Arts Pavilion, and we have lots of space to spread out. So 3 to 9 p.m.s.
Are we going to pass the hat? How are we going to give you money?
Yeah.
We have donation jars that will be set up all over the pavilion area. We'll have them over in the food area, and lots of sanitizer too. So when you drop your money, sanitize your hands, and there's lots of opportunities.
If someone can't be with you today and this evening, and they wanted to donate money to the organization, what's the best way to do that, Kelly?
They are always welcome to either mail a check into the restaurant, 127 West Cass Street, made out to the After 26 Project, or they can go to our website, After 26 Project, and there's a place that they can donate.
Okay, you're doing amazing work in the community with this really wonderful group of people being served. And like you said, you might have a good meal, probably will have a good meal, but you'll leave with a full heart.
That's
That
right.
It was really something special right there.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, you've got bands who've been itching to play for a live crowd for months that are going to be able to do that today. And again, they are not getting paid for this.
Yeah.
Come out and support After 26, everybody.
3 till 9 today. And that'll wrap it up. Kelly, thank you.
Thank you.
Katie, thank you.
Thank you.
It is Cadillac Unscripted, sponsored by Independent Bank and Marianne Quist of Remax Central on 107.9 CDY.